Thai, where you at? And it's evening. Good evening, sir. All right. Hey, we gonna get started. We gonna get started right now. Uh, the fucking Abba Dabba. I'm telling you, I've been trying to explain to you guys in the last few videos that the way you've been brought up, along with the way the society is trying to feminize men, um, you just got it rough. You avoided the things that you needed to learn as a boy turning into a young teen. There's certain things you needed to learn. And the moms, the feminine dudes, they kept their kids from that. I mean, there's a lot of shit you're supposed to do. You're supposed to, at one point when you're a kid, you're supposed to be trying to look under a girl's dress. You're supposed to see them as something that you want to explore. You just fucking gotta understand that. You missed it. You learn all this shit going to the store, going up to the gas station. Caller, what's up?
What's going on, bud? Top of the morning, man. It's AG.
Hey, man, what's going on?
Hey, man. Happy holidays, man. You looking good, man. I just wanted to ask a question, though.
Go ahead. Come on.
Yeah, I woke up this morning, man, and I picked up my daughter and everything like that, man. And there's something overcame me today. This is energy that I really don't know where it came from. And I just started, talking to my daughter, man, about different little things that's been bugging me out and just, different little stuff like that, man. And I'm, man, how the fuck do niggas just learn to let shit go, man? How do you do it? You know what I'm saying? Because sometimes I see myself hung up on the wrong shit. I feel like a female sometimes, man. I just be hung up on the wrong shit.
Hey, man, you got to learn how to ask a question and then wait for the answer.
Yeah.
You ask a question and you keep talking, and nigga even forgot what the question was. Now,
yeah.
What the hell was your question? How do you release it?
How do a nigga develop the sense of fucking?
Hey, first of all, what was bothering you? Was it about your daughter?
Yeah, man. It was. It wasn't about her in particular, man. But it wasn't about her in particular. She's fine, man. She's a great girl. But things involving her, man.
Well, I mean, you ain't supposed to forget that shit, man.
Yeah.
It's supposed to bother you till you speak about it.
Yeah.
Because it's important, man. It's very important for you to speak about it. But my advice would be, when you first think of that shit, as close to the first time as possible, start kicking it with her about it, man. Because that's the only way you and her are going to develop that special relationship. Man, I'm telling you, you see me and my daughter, man. We got a pretty cool relationship. I stay out her fucking business because I trust that what I taught her is in her, and that's because I didn't keep shit from her. But now it took she's 29 now. She was like 24, something like that, before she actually starts showing me that I don't have to worry about her like I was worried. Because I be worried, man. And I was worried about her getting into the wrong environment, because it's too easy to get in at this time, in life. And luckily for me, she cool as hell, man. And I believe with you tripping the way you tripping about shit with your daughter, she's gonna be cool too. Because what's really bothering you, or what keeps that shit on your mind, is the way the world is today, man, and what she's faced with.
Right. Okay. Cool. So I'm not tweaking that, man, because I do talk to my daughter. We had to ride all the way up to the house right now, and I was talking to her, man, about just about our life. You know what I'm saying? And the stuff that we've been going through. I mean, I had her when I was like 17, man. So I was real young then, and still real young now. But I've been talking to her, man, and we do chop it up. And she listens, man. That's my buddy. We really close. So I just wanted to make sure I wasn't overdoing it. When I speak to her and I talk to her about these things that kind of bother me about what we have to go through, just the things that we just have to go through for right now. So I appreciate that.
Hey, man, don't worry about that. You doing what you're supposed to do because you care.
Yeah, okay, cool. And that's all that is, man. It's just frustration coming out.
But that was some good shit, man, and it ain't frustration. It's frustration because you won't let a motherfucker talk. You just got a lot to say about shit, man. That's a good thing. But you gotta know how to deliver it. I hope you let her, interject shit while you telling her what you think.
Well, I'm gonna start asking her to give me her thoughts on things. I don't mind,
Yeah, well, that's the only thing you may be missing. What you think on that? And then y'all have a discussion about what she thinks. See, that'll bring y'all close, man. And it'll teach you some shit about her.
Yeah, cool, man. Well, that's hey, man. Listen, bud, I appreciate you every time, man.
Hey, man, you know it. Just be cool.
Be cool.
Let me tell you something. I'm very serious about parenting, and I know that my style of parenting is not everybody's style of parenting, but my style includes what you hear me talk about. My style of parenting, I mean, I ain't letting my daughter do shit that she ain't supposed to be doing. But let me tell you something. She understood right and wrong at a very early age, because I'd get in that ass and then I'd ask her different things about her. Why the fuck you do that shit? And my thing is communication. You gotta communicate. But there is a certain language you speak with your daughter, I mean, your child, when they're young, when you're trying to give them understanding of the world. And that language is not rough, but you bring shit to her that is rough, so they won't be surprised about it when they see it. And you don't tell them about this stuff in that baby voice. You tell it to them in a real voice, and you start talking to them. I don't know how, I didn't really get how old he said his child was, but what I'm saying is she sounds like she may be 10 or something, maybe 12. But my point is she old enough for you to really, really talk to. So I regularly ask to hear from, my alum, but I just really love it when they just send me updates on their own. This brother sent me an update this morning. Well, it wasn't this morning. He sent it maybe a week ago. And he had called me, and I didn't have time at that point. So he just wrote this to me. He just wanted to let me know he's been good. He said, "Bud, man, I've progressed, and I noticed when you really want something, it will present itself in all forms." That's true about bitches, man. That's true about school. That's true about work, clubbing, books, your streams, and courses. Uh, my grandmother's and my notes and reflection, they have all contributed to my perception and understanding of the meaning of life and being a man. Of course, with the courses as my basis, it's been all good. Man, that's just think. You wake up and hear some shit like that. Have you guys heard of the dude who didn't know how it felt to get run over by a diesel truck? Well, he found out that shit hurt. Don't be that dude. Now, that really is some dope shit I just told you. Not about what dude told me, about having that have the truck run your ass over before you realize that shit will hurt. I'm sick of these fucked up gurus and the like using, or should I say, abusing the word game. I know at least one motherfucker who knows what the phrase Abba Dabba is. And when these punk ass copies started using it, or start using it, you'll know where it came from. Years ago, when Tay and I would kick it, it always started out with "What's up, man?" And whoever asked that, the other one would respond, "Nothing but this Abba Dabba Q, baby." That's the way we would kick it. Is it me, or is time flying? Because I thought we just had New Year's, and here it is already time for another one. It's like that when you love what the fuck you do. Because me and this nigga never knew what day it was. Even on the weekends, we didn't know what day it was. You can do shit for hours on end. And, think you only been doing it for 20 minutes. That's because I love the life I live. And I'm fortunate enough to live the life I love. 72 years old, fairly good health, taking a few meds, fewer physical problems. Nigga dick still getting hard. Shit. I'm almost at the top of the motherfucking world. Look at me, Mom. I'm at the top of the world. In my James Cagney voice. Hey, I wish my mother could see me. Years before she passed, I promised her I was going to make her proud of her badass son, because I was one of the bad sons. She saw some of it, and even though she ain't here to see it fully come to fruition, I'm going to make good on my promise. Because a man is only good as his fucking word. Now, for an update. 2022 was a bomb year for me. I introduced Sheila G to my audience, but sadly she's passed. I have something new from SW in my genius. And when I introduce shit to you, you see how pertinent it is. We're in the midst of the course at SWU, and it's doing just as I thought it would do. The students are learning how to truly use their arsenal. Most of them thought it was merely a conversation, but they have discovered it's much more. See, I'm seeing a lot differently this year. Like I say, 2022 was a bomb year, and it was a certain growth, maybe my later years growth period. Because since 22, I've just been discovering things. Most motherfuckers, that's what they think their arsenal is, just a conversation. But when you learn how to use it, you see it's much more than a conversation. It's a way to ease into a conversation with a woman, with you getting certain points from her in using your arsenal that's going to allow you to carry on a conversation that you didn't walk up there, "Hey girl, how you doing?" You didn't walk up there like that. You just walk up there like you just want to have a regular conversation. You ain't hitting on her. She ain't got to put her guards up. She ain't got to do nothing, because today women put their guards up as soon as they hear that sound in your voice. And then when you say some of that shit like, "Oh God, God must have had a good day when he made you," or some shit, however you guys tell her that she fine. See, all that bullshit is what keep you from catching, because that's what every other motherfucker do. You got to learn how to separate yourself. You have to separate yourself from everybody else. And you do that with conversation. You do that with having something to talk about. You do that without objectifying the goddamn woman, because that's how they feel today. If you tell her she got good curves, oh my God, you're objectifying me. That's what her mind tells her. She may not even say it, but she thinks that. So her guards are up. You got to learn how to talk to her without talking about none of that motherfucking shit until y'all get into a conversation. Then you can't really talk about that shit like, people do. But you got to ease into a conversation. And when you ease into that conversation, this arsenal has prepared you for what you're going to talk about, because you said little things that made her respond with her personal feelings about these things. And you're learning about her without her even knowing it. This is called being sharp. That's what Abba Dabba makes you have game. You get it from learning something, or you learn about something, and you go out in the streets, in the public, and use what you learned. And you do that 2 or 3 times using the same whatever you learned. And it'll become a part of you. And you ain't gonna never forget it. But because you guys do not pick something and learn it, you just pick something to know about. So you know about shit. You ain't learned it, you can't use it, it ain't gonna do you no good. So what's the use of learning it? This is what I'm saying to you. You gotta be serious. Now, the core me will not ever change, but I'm seeing the need for today even more than I already believe this, that I gotta go it alone. I gotta do shit alone. The Abba Dabba Q I spit has a low success rate when I try to, team up with a motherfucker. Except Dean, I'm fucking with Dean again. He's the only motherfucker that can actually deal with what the fuck a nigga like me say without taking it personal. So, you gotta get in where you fit in. When I was in the 9th grade, it started to show. Dudes' egos are too fragile. A motherfucker fucking with me, especially after I became soul man, at one point they was bound to think I was treating them like bitches. I can't help that I was such a goddamn pimp that even after 20 years of not having a whole 10 years of having shows, 5 years of having a motherfucking SW, you still see me as a motherfucking pimp. My shit wouldn't let you, my shit should let you know that I'm not a pimp. Still, motherfuckers think I'm trying to pimp on them. Ain't that a bitch? I'm always going to be Rosebud Bitter, though, so no motherfucker is going to control me in no fashion. I believe in the Abba Dabba, and I definitely believe in the Abba Dabba Q. So I guess I'm going to learn how to steer a ship through rough waters. And after I conquer that with my magnificent on-the-job training skills, I guess I'll be able to sail off into the sunset. Happy that I held my mud in every instance. It was necessary for me to do so. I feel so good about that shit. I am one happy camper. I have had the pleasure of seeing firsthand that the motherfuckers are trying to turn this Abba Dabba around. I knew it was going to come a time again that our game was going to, be coming back. I ain't going to say that has fully developed, but I know a lot of these cats that's out there, they starting to Caller, what's up?
Hey, what's up, bro? This is Rick, man, the former
Rick, I know this is what's happening.
Hey man, I just want to tell you, man. What you said, you said you wish your mom could see you, right? And what I want to say to you is, I wish my dad could see me now. He passed away in 2011, right?
Yeah.
And he never really taught me, man. I ain't gonna lie, the manhood shit, I never knew it. But I'm there now. And I wish he could see me now and all the progress I have made. I ain't always where I want to be. But damn, boy, I done came a long way.
Rick, man, let me tell you something, man. I can hear in your voice, I can hear in your statements you making that you really feel you have arrived and you still learning. And that's dope, man. I told
Yes,
you,
sir,
I
man.
told you it was good. You remember when you wanted to quit? And I told you, man,
Yeah.
this shit is for you, man. You just gotta buckle in, and you'll appreciate how hard I am later on.
Man, I so appreciate it, man. Your classes is the bar. They got me where I want to be, man. I done had so much damn success, man. It ain't funny.
Let me ask you something, man. So everybody here, you say the classes helps you get where you want to be. Where do, in a couple of sentences, where do you want to be? Where is that?
I want to be a little more confident than I am now. That's pretty much where I want to be. I want to eliminate the doubt.
Well, wait, listen. You can't eliminate the doubt. You can only handle the doubt. Because the doubt, there is doubt in everything. You're going to think of the thing that's doubtful or whatever. But don't let that thought handle you, man. You gotta learn. You gotta learn to think that negative thought, and then you gotta think it away. Because once you think it and you start seeing how it ain't gonna happen to you, you know you get rid of it. But you dealt with the doubt. So you can't be wanting to not have doubt. That's like asking to die. You gonna have doubt.
Man,
go ahead.
I want to handle bitches better. Shit, just bottom line.
But man, every time I talk to you, you didn't just caught one.
Well, yeah, that's true. I ain't follow doing that, dog.
Well,
right.
Well, what?
You ready to some hard-headed bitches, man? I'm learning. You gotta let them bitches. You gotta let them bitches go.
Hey, soon as you see they knuckleheads, brother. That's what you learn how to see. That's that third eye, man. You learn how to see shit. And
hey, that third eye is the bomb. You hear me? That third eye is real.
Hey, hey, man, don't give too much up. But it is real, brother. It is real. And I'm glad you're using it. And I'm glad you called in just so I could hear your voice.
Hell yeah, man. That's all I wanted to say, man. I ain't gonna hold you up too much longer.
Appreciate you, Rick.
Take it easy, man.
Yeah. See, you guys don't understand what I'm saying. When someone does what he just did, sure, it verifies to you that I'm telling the truth about my shit. But what it does for me is see that I am actually having some effect. You know, I don't want to do shit just to do it. I want to do shit, because it's the shit to do, the right thing to do. And that's where I'm coming from. I don't want to mislead nobody. I've had the pleasure of seeing firsthand that motherfuckers is really turning this shit around. And I knew it was gonna come. You can only keep this Abba Dabba hidden for so long, then the real is gonna come and smash the bullshit. Now, I'm only gonna, mention this. Well, I'm only gonna mention one of you, although there's been many motherfuckers worthy of mentioning for gobbling up this goddamn Abba Dabba Q I be spitting. Young Ramsey has without a doubt shown me that, he hungry for this Abba Dabba. I don't think I have had a new tube available for an hour before his ass bought it and had comments about it the next day. This happened with all 60 something tubes I got. Not only Caller, what's up?
What's going on, bud? This Earl.
Earl, what's happening, man?
Nothing much. I just had to call in since we had another alumni just called.
Hey,
I offer that brother to come join the council with us because it.
hey, that's Rick. I forgot Rick's last name, but I think he was in when you was in. I'm not sure, but I'll get Rick's last name and hook you up with it. He need to join the council, the Council of Extraordinary Men.
Yeah, because I was going to tell him the answer to his question is learning how to weed your garden better. That is the only thing makes you more confident and make you more who you want to be.
Weeding your garden better.
Yeah, that was one assignment Bud gives every graduate. And that's don't stop just because you graduated. Keep going. If you do that, you will handle anything come your way, and you will figure out how to be who you want to be.
Hey, that's dope, man. Because in reality, I can't tell you. The only person that can tell you is you.
So yeah, man. Right now, remember last year I told you I wanted to become a coach.
Yeah.
Well, right now I'm going through another 3-month course on just how to weed my garden. And before the end of this year, I'm gonna do exactly what you said. I didn't go pay for that other school on coaching. I decided to become my own best student first of what I'm gonna teach.
Hey, bro, that's a good move. You know, you need to be your first best student.
And that's exactly how I'm learning how to be a life coach. And I done already found how I'm gonna write a 3-month course on how to weed your garden, and that's what my school gonna be.
Hey, man, good luck.
Yeah, the main reason these guys can't handle you is because they got too much of this feminine BS that the world done put in. They not used to masculinity, so they run from it, just like these women who ain't used to it.
Hey, man, that's kind of something I hadn't really said, but that's true. Earl, you got to call me so we can kick it.
All right.
All right, man, be cool. Hey, you guys, it's amazing to hear people that overcome their own particular obstacles say shit like he said. Earl was a different kind of dude. I'm not mistaken. I don't think he was like 900 pounds or nothing, but I think he was a little overweight and he had that little complex. I think he was involved in religion, not too much, but you know, enough to where it was kind of giving him thoughts. And through different conversations we had, because I ain't against religion, but I'm not one of them guys that's religious, you know. So you know, I had to tread lightly on that. But we just spoke honestly, and he broke through. Brother broke through. That's all I could say. So look, I was talking about young Ramsey. Not only have he bought all the goddamn tools, he don't wait for no deal. And after listening to each one, he says, don't stop kicking this game, man. I'm going crazy with this shit. All I can say, with the army of motherfuckers that's rising at this very moment, all I can say is it's about time. I have pure, unadulterated game for motherfuckers. And the reason it's like that is because it's unadulterated when you go to the real school of taking your ass out and getting through the school of hard knocks. The fucking school that the goddamn streets will take you through whether you ready or not. You better get ready. When you go out there, you better be ready, or when you get out there, you sure better get ready. Now, this is something that really perturbs me. Last week, a caller called in on my show and said he had parts 1 and 2 of 1.0. He said he's seen a lot of growth since completing those parts. He goes on to say he caught a cutie, and over the last few weeks, he feels like he's like losing his groove. So my question is, why does he have a question? He has a question for the same reason many of you have the questions. There are 3 full progressions in the male confidence course. It would seem to me, especially if you're seeing progress. The only question you would have is whether or not you have the money to invest in the rest of the course. Most of you have only invested in a part of 1.0. And if you bought all 4 parts of 1.0, you would only have 33% of what you need. I don't know how far you think you could go on less than 1/3 of what you need. But if you see with only 17% of what the caller needs, he caught a cutie, you also see the power in my course. Think about it. This is something he hasn't done in years, and he's not only breaking his neck to get the rest, and he's not breaking his neck to get the rest of the course. You have heard many men call in and endorse my confidence course, and just as many men say they didn't see the light until they got all the course. That caller, just as you, have seen progress in your confidence, yet you'll settle for only part of the course. I don't get that about y'all. On my shows, most of you have normal insecurities when it comes to women. There's nothing outstanding. There are those of you who want something from women other than sex or companionship, which is cool, but do you know how much more than sex and companionship a woman has to offer a real man? See, that's what I don't think you know. You need to expand your horizons when it comes to women. Interaction is where it's at. When I want to hear how something I wrote sounds, I'll read it to a woman I'm fucking with. When I feel competitive, I might go play pool with one of them goddamn bitches. When I want to style a little, I take one of my women out and treat her like a queen. These are very important things for me to do in my life because it shows me I still appreciate the things I'm blessed to experience. My mind is not limited to thinking about fucking a woman. If the only thing you want to do or the only thing you know how to do with a woman is fuck, then your biggest problem is right in front of you. All men like me know that a hard dick ain't got no conscience and will get your ass charged if you're not careful. If you don't believe me, just ask the next hoe you see what they depend on to make money. They'll tell you in a minute, a hard dick, they're going to make some money. Think with the right head, and 80% of your battle is won. You know, a lot of people are afraid to put themselves out there. You know, they're afraid because they just don't have any real intentions to do what they claim. So why would you put something out there that would show everyone you're afraid, you're a fraud? I get it, but what you don't get is you don't have to be a fraud. All you need to do is what you say you will do. As easy as that sounds, it's one of the hardest things that's good for you to do. You will do one of 2 things. In the coming months, you will either grow or you're going to stay the same as you are now. You know, we're asking for you to understand, goddammit. And if you don't understand, we telling you. We ain't taking no prisoners this year. Also, you better make sure you're not a prisoner or you don't become a prisoner. It's easy to become one. All you do is think something that's positive and don't do it. then you'll become a prisoner of your own thoughts. Get with me and let's learn how to avoid stagnation. I asked what has happened in the last 3 weeks of 2024 and I didn't get one response. In a way, that's good, and in another way, it's fucked. What's good about it is obviously you don't want to lie. The bad thing is that the only reason you haven't responded is you don't want to put your lie or put your intentions on Front Street. You better learn, you better get to this. When you put your goals and desires out there, it makes you want them even more. I know I don't want to put something out there and don't accomplish it. I know you feel the same way. That's why when I put something out there, every time I read it, it motivates me to achieve it. Why? Because I don't want to be a liar either. If you really want it, there should be nothing keeping you from giving your 1,000% effort to make it happen ASAP. I've witnessed a lot of shit in my life, but the most positive thing I've seen in the past few years is the acceptance that a change is necessary in so many of your lives. If you want change, then hop on board with all the other motherfuckers who hope their lives will change. I do shit. I encourage you to do shit. I am not going to spend my time wanting shit. I suggest you don't either. Spend your time getting what you think of. Spend your every waking moment on your fucking thoughts. Don't just have a thought because you can. Have a thought that let's say you obligate yourself to meet. When you make that deal with yourself, to do what you think when you think it, watch how much you check your thoughts. Don't no real motherfucker want to make a commitment and not live up to it. So the bullshit things you say that you used to say, once you get committed to being in pursuit of your every thought, you're going to make sure your thoughts are reachable. Now, if you understand what I just said, you just got a taste of my confidence course, which emphasizes the importance and the techniques of controlling your thoughts. We are taking no prisoners this year. Taking no prisoners mean if it's left up to you, you will get every single thing you want from people, from things, and life in general. I ain't taking no prisoners. This is what my course does for real motherfuckers trying to come up. And he told me Ramsey told me to use his name. No shame in his game, and thanks to me, he will never be the same. Rosebud, I love you, OG. It's Young Rams the P. Man, I've been down getting it, bitches, and it was times I felt like I might not ever come back up. But I used my confidence gained from the courses and my belief in the game to keep going, and I came up on a little black bitch in my hood. She 20 and a red bone. She's been hoeing on her own since she was 16, but she ain't never fucked with pimping. I've been talking to her for about 2 weeks, and she chose up with me last night. You know what's crazy? Her aunt supports her being with my pimping. She just wants me to take proper care of her niece. The thing is, she got a best friend who holds as well, and her friend follows after her. So I'm going to try to knock her too. And I will say this. Had you decided not to share that game that you shared with me, I would have had no choice but to sell drugs. But I keep my pimping straight laced, and I respect the pimping to the fullest. I still got a lot to learn, and I'm sure I'm going to bump my head a few more times. But I'm pimping for life. Thanks for everything, Rosebud. Young Rams. Thank you, goddammit, for applying the real in today's climate of fakers. He ain't out talking about no internet shit. I didn't read where he cared about how many police are out. I read that he down and dirty and getting his regardless. I have a tool for catching a semi-slick woman and a different tool to catch a polished hoe. I wonder if any of you know the difference between the two. On my site, you're going to see I have many situations that call for different conversations to get at a woman. But have any of you who bought the MP3s taken the time to distinguish what kind of women the tool is for? Or did you like the title and guess the type of woman it's for? These types of things are what's important. To get the most out of anything, you gotta want to be thorough about defining what you fucking want. Sometimes when I say shit and reread it, it sounds like I'm a religious person. I am so flawed and I do not go to church. I'm not bragging about it, but I know I could place that blame on my mom's shoulders. Her dedication, her fanatical ways about praising God lost me in the shuffle. I absolutely am not a religious person, but I firmly believe in God and the power that prayer has for me and people like me. My mother and father did not raise one fool out of the 12 Dixon children they reared. And what they did was ingrain in us all that we are responsible for our lives and our decisions are what determine our destiny. When my mother passed, exactly the way she said she asked God to let her go, which I heard her say, she had no pain. She did not want to be in the hospital. She wanted no suffering and she wanted to be at home in her bed with all her children around her. The only thing she did, no, the only thing she did not get was she wanted to go in her sleep. In a way, she was asleep because she sort of was semi-conscious and she went on from there. You know, in that moment, I understood the power of belief and the benefit it would have for you in the most fucking trying times in your life. My mother believed in God and his power so much that even if she was in pain, she didn't know it. She was given 6 months to live and lived over 6 years without chemo or any life sustaining apparatus. She was truly a believer, and I'm a chip off her block if there ever was one. I am my mother. My father was the smartest man I ever knew. His life was about one thing, and he used to say it to us all the time. The only thing you cannot do is the thing you have not thought of. He ingrained that in us. And use your head always followed. He believed in education so strongly, he felt if you were educated, there's nothing you could not do. I am my father because if I think of it, I'm doing it. One night, I was watching Charlie Rose interview that sister who did that movie Selma. And I'll tell you something, it was eye-opening for me. I remember thinking, why do people who did major things in history all must be seen or perceived as saints? Martin Luther King wasn't a saint, and when Ava DuVernay said that, it made me think, why do we not accept a person who contributed to our very essence? Why can't we accept their true selves? If we knew Martin Luther King had hella women on the side, would it stop or kill the message he had for peace? Lincoln, Kennedy, Barack, hell, probably Bush too. All those fools had women. Does it negate what they did in life? I know the only way to really be able to see the full picture is to be or have been on both sides. The bad in me is what makes the good in me so important. I do not believe I would have any good in me if I was not such a bad person in my life. Because I truly know what being bad is. Therefore, my choice to be good is really something I want to do, which is the best way. to receive life's enhancing information. It needs to be something you want to do. You have a great desire to do. Now, look, I had a great Thanksgiving. I hope you had a great Thanksgiving. But you know, it's only the beginning of the holiday season. So make sure your ass is careful. Don't be drinking and driving. Don't do nothing in extreme. I was gonna say don't do nothing, but nah, just don't do nothing in extreme. Take care of your fucking selves so we can see 2025. I'm out.